So here's something pretty funny. Now, I've been kind of chronicling a little bit the sort of split between Fox News and Donald Trump, and also the supporters. Now, what we know is basically Rupert Murdoch, I don't think was ever really a huge fan of Trump to begin with. But back when Roger Ailes was still at Fox News, Roger Ailes was a big fan of Trump. So that he kind of forged like a really strong connection with Trump and really was made Fox News a super pro-Trump organization. It was incredibly, massively pro-Trump. But after Roger Ailes was fired and then passed, you know, Rupert never really, I don't think, really liked Trump that much, if at all. And so there was a really heavy split between the two. And so all of a sudden, you know, after Roger Ailes is gone, they kind of slowly start turning into not a super pro-Trump news network. You see Neil Cavuto turning away from Kayleigh McEnany's press conference. But even that Laura Ingraham interview that Trump had, Laura Ingraham wasn't exactly giving super softball questions or, you know, doing sort of just full-on support or whatever of Trump. So even that, you know, Laura Ingraham was saying President-elect Biden, all this stuff, you know, they just started to kind of pull away from Trump, and it's likely because of Rupert at the top, you know, telling them or kind of influencing them. And it all really came to a boil with Fox News' election coverage because they called Arizona for Biden really early. Even I was like, man, I don't know about that call. Now I think it's confirmed that Arizona is for sure going to Joe Biden, so I guess they were right, although it looked a little bit rocky. But at the end of the day, if you're right, you know, I guess the call makes sense. Jared Kushner called up Fox News, called up, I think, Rupert Murdoch himself and complained about it. And they, instead of pulling it, retracting it, they actually decided to double down. That's what they decided to do. So what you're seeing here is, I'm going to show you the clip. It's actually Trump supporters. They're marching towards Capitol Hill, and they're chanting, "Fox News sucks." Fox News sucks! 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 It's really interesting to see because Fox News was really a hub and a home for Donald Trump, and I think that if in 2016 Fox News played a similar role as they did this time around, I think that Trump could have lost and maybe would have lost actually. But, you know, obviously the entirety of mainstream media, excluding Fox News, by doing all of the kind of faux coverage that they did and all the cringy clickbait stuff that they did for Trump, they gave him a lot of free coverage and ended up turning a lot of people for him rather than against him. But Fox News was the one mainstream media hub that was actually for Trump, and really abashedly so, you know, unabashedly so. So definitely there's a big change there. And so, you know, a lot of people probably never saw this being possible, never saw this timeline existing where Trump supporters are chanting towards Capitol Hill, chanting Fox News sucks. You know, I don't know, it's definitely interesting to see, but Trump was, you know, shitting on Fox the other day as I reported, but definitely some pretty interesting stuff to see, man.